What is up, planet Earth and beyond? As you can see, we've got our steampunk airship under construction today. No, my parts still have not shown up 3 months later, but this has been sitting on the shelf collecting dust, and there's still quite a bit of interior structure work that I need to do prior to adding on more walls to the ship. My goal today is going to be to try to bulk up some figures to man the ship. We've got 3 of the new steampunk engineers going on. My camera is being silly today, as per usual, but we've got 3 guys here. We're going to be trying to change them up, add some facial expressions, different things. I'm not entirely sure what these 3 are going to be, if they're going to be inventors, if they're going to be part of the crew. I'm kind of digging some of the Armageddon style figures that we got from Lego Movie 2. They've got lots of gears and stuff. Although not officially steampunk, they got some cool vibes to them going on here. So we're probably going to throw those guys on here and try to build up a little bit of a crew. I don't want it like 100 people on this. I kind of want to keep it somewhat reasonably small and focus more on the build of the ship. But today I'm going to be trying to connect these 3 sections here into the main hull for the airship. Definitely going to throw in some pieces to try to strengthen this up, add some stability to it, because as of right now, like if you look at it wrong, it feels like it's going to fall apart. So let's go ahead and start that process. Alright, I've gone in and I've added a bunch of 1x5s to the structure here. So it is, well, it's a lot stronger than it was earlier. I can pick it up and it's a lot more sturdy. So now that I've got that attached and all put in, I added a bunch. I added like, I don't know, like 10 or 15 at least. So I'm going to continue connecting strong points and just fill this thing full of Technic pins until I solidify a stronger base for this to add more of the shell to. This is kind of upside down right now, but I'm kind of getting the structure and framework that will hold the ship together from the inside and the framework. So I need to attach the inner frame for the base to the inner frame for the main ship here. I've got the second part of the hull already attached on the bottom, which is what's elevating this. So I'm just kind of giving you guys kind of a little bit of showcase. I've never really done a lot of Technic framework that wasn't following the instructions, and I still haven't done very much of that to begin with. I've just done a couple of Bionicles, but it's been a long time. So I'm just kind of doing some basic structure here to connect the framework of the ship to give it some strength and to hopefully be able to hold more of the weight in this process. So I was able to tile or slope these off. I'm going to go ahead and finish alternating between the ingots and the 4x1, 1x4s with the no studs in the middle here. I'm not really entirely sure what that piece is called, but I'm going to continue along that way. I was trying to figure out a way to keep these from bouncing back and forth because they're not the most sturdy. They kind of go back and forth. But I'm thinking if I just add some of these with the studs on the side, that'll help. So we'll go ahead and attempt that. But the structure's holding up much better than I originally thought it would. So I kind of got lazy and just blocked in that whole section to kind of give it some strength. It's got the beams running through it, and I've kind of just blocked in around them. But rather than attempting to put 50 more pegs in there and whatnot, this works and it strengthens it to a degree. So now I just need to cover this portion up with more plates, which I have a portion of them over there that will cover that much of it. So, oops, I miscounted that one there. That'll have to be raised up one. But the rest of them will just snap on, and that'll cover that section. Alright, so I got a little ahead of myself without filming for a bit, but I've just been trying to fill in all of the different areas here. I filled in this section, and I've done this on both sides, and then I went ahead and I put in a bunch of bricks in the middle of these here to kind of support the columns I had running up and down. And so that's that section. So this is the base now, and it kind of looks mostly like this, and bricks throughout here with these running through it. I still need to fill in this section here, and then I finally was able to fill in the majority of this. Just readjust that there. It's not the strongest at the moment. I've just kind of been trying to fill in different sections here. I filled in these. I really like how this part turned out, because this was a giant hole that I was a little worried about trying to fill. And I used a bunch of support beams underneath here. I could probably take this off. Yeah, there we go. So that's got a bunch of support beams running through there that I was able to clip some tiles onto. And that's nice and strong, and it's sturdy there, and it needs to be thicker here to hold not only the blimps but also the top to the base here to connect these. So this is no longer removable. It's all just one solid thing now, so moving it is becoming a little difficult. It's but it's really solid and secure, surprisingly. And if we turn it like this is the rear end of it. I could easily just continue paneling these off, but I really want to put some engines along the back here and going up. I don't know, my patience is wearing thin with waiting for my stuff from Lego to get in or even ship. So at this point I might just go ahead and continue on. I do have some smaller pieces that might look okay to finish off the back end, but I haven't fully decided whether or not I want to do that portion yet. So I'm just kind of setting that aside, but that's where I've got it. I really like the way these panels end up lining up. I've got quite a few of them here. This one's kind of just, you know, really trying to get this nice slope coming in. I was hoping to build more of a hull and have it look more ship-like coming in with the thrusters. I don't know, this is becoming very tall and skinny, and I've been working on it for months now, and so I hate the idea of even considering starting over at this point. Originally I had planned on making it almost pirate ship like, to where, you know, we had the giant captain's quarters up here and then a couple hot air balloons landing on the top. So somehow in my filling in the plates and stuff, I've kind of lost the shaping that I was originally going for with this. And I'm not entirely sure how to get that back. I've been kind of debating what the best course of action to do is. So this is the angle that it was at, and it just didn't seem like it was giving enough of a slope for the hull. And so I've gone ahead and readjusted this side so that it has more of an angle on the hull, and I really like that. It makes it look a lot more ship-like. It's kind of difficult to tell because, you know, I haven't actually created the portion that curves in and up to the main bow, but I don't know, I feel like that just gives it it just feels a lot more along the design that I was hoping to go for. So, oops, I totally tore that apart. There we go. Now I just need to change that on this side to replicate on this side. So, the good news is it kind of shortened it a little bit, actually. By a couple plates, not a lot, but I feel like just overall everything about it ended up looking so much better. So, the tricky part is going to be able to build something to make this part of the hull on the next layer when I start adding the main deck. Adding this so that it's stronger and connects, and like when I put the stuff on top, it doesn't just force it to crumble off. So I'll have to keep that in mind going forward. But overall, I feel like it just gives it a much more imposing presence. It's much more ship-like. Yeah, hopefully doing that will add a much more imposing presence to the ship as a whole. Getting this to angle and contort correctly is going to be a whole fun project, but it'll be a fun, exciting thing. So I'm really liking the way this is turning out, much better than before, because like it just has so much more shape and so much more breadth versus just the straight. It didn't feel very boat-like, and so we're gonna take this and replicate this side over here now, angled out. Alright, so by some miracle this lined up almost perfectly with these 2x1 slopes. So we're going to continue that and shape the front of the bow in the direction I'm going here. I've added a bunch of Technic in here to help strengthen and support that so that there is more strength here. We'll kind of angle this a little more. I'm just trying to continue to kind of just free build here and go as I go. I'm trying to maximize the shape here and using lots of different pieces in the small amount of color pieces I have left. Alright, so another couple hours has gone by of me slowly bringing this up and kind of creating the bow front here. I have several different sizes that I am having to implement. It's jumping from 7 down to 2. I've been slowly tapering this off, but it also has to be getting bigger, so it's kind of an interesting shape to be tapering and growing at the same time. But I think it's coming out nicely, but it's coming along much better than originally anticipated. So, well, I think that about wraps it up for this week. I've gone ahead and just added a couple of the CMF figures and some of my other steampunk figures I have here to kind of make it look like I've got some building going on while I'm kind of just making the cool thumbnail here. But really, really proud with how this is turning out. Was not expecting it to start looking this different. I was really glad I got an extra day or two this week with the snow to go ahead and dedicate some extra time to it. But it's really, really coming together. I really got to do a lot of work to strengthen the in front of the hull and stuff, and to continue working upward. It's way bigger than I ever intended, as per usual, but I'm really, really liking the way that this is starting to look. So I think that'll about wrap it up. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please hit that like button. Please hit the subscribe. If there's anything that you want to see added to this steampunk ship, go ahead and leave it down in the comments. I am seriously debating adding another blimp, like a much bigger blimp across the top, because these were originally supposed to be like covering this whole thing, but because it got so big, it doesn't really look like these would actually support the ship anymore. And so let me know if you guys think down in the comments. Should I add a third blimp to this up on top, or would that just be way too much? Let me know. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, guys.